To simplify their network, service providers need software-defined control. To help me understand more about how that control is being applied and where open source technologies come to play, I spoke with Nitin Serro from Lumina Networks. Here's what he had to say. Nitin, thanks so much for talking to us today. I want to hear about Lumina Networks and how the company has been growing recently, and maybe talk about the recent funding.
The company has been growing exponentially. The recent funding has accelerated that, and it has given us a lot of attention, not just in the US, but globally. So as leaders, the recent investment has actually solidified the thought process that we have to take Lumina to the next level.
Helping build software-defined control into networks. That enables a lot of things inside of a network, many different applications. What are service providers asking for most of all, or what type of applications and use cases are they asking Lumina for?
So there are plenty of use cases that the service providers are asking for. But what Lumina is focused on is building an automation platform for the tier 1 telcos. There are few applications that we could help them enable, but then that allows them to get their own velocity to do their own applications, independent of any vendors or of talent or of risk. So the way I look at Lumina and the service provider interaction is primarily an automation platform that's open source, independent of the viability of Lumina, but then it also allows them, the tier 1 telcos and all other telcos, to build on top of it and have an exponential acceleration for development that was previously bound by proprietary technology.
Since you're working with large telcos, tier 1 telcos, they are really adamant about embracing open source technology and open source software. It's a huge trend in the industry as well. How is Lumina helping them catch on to that trend and really embrace open source in their networks?
Lumina is leading the way in open source from its community participation, whether it's PTLs or TSE chairs, sponsorships in different events. As far as the telcos go, not only do they need to invest the talent in their own business, but also lead different community projects. So Lumina, they look at Lumina to say, how have you guys done it? And how do we actually put this back into the community so we can get an accelerated velocity of features, of functionality, and fixes that other people have seen in the industry. So I believe the catalyst of getting things out of the lab into the production environment, but then also getting other people in the community to accelerate the feature and bug fixes is what telcos are looking at Lumina to help accelerate.
Okay. That sounds like a great help for them. It also sounds like they've warmed up to Lumina in terms of, in several different ways, not just in terms of your open source leadership, but obviously you have 2 telcos that have invested in the company. What did they see in Lumina as an investment, and why did that make sense for them?
The telco market is looking for a capital reduction of their infrastructure, and the only way they can achieve that is either they do their own in-house development like the WebScale guys, and or they have the community and an open source development just like Linux did for the compute and storage environment. So I believe that the capital reduction and the operational efficiencies of the community and open source is what they saw. So they see that as a tactical, in my opinion, a tactical advantage and a strategical advantage going forward so that they can always have that acceleration within the community. Getting the 2 large telcos to invest in us has validated that there's a market for this. And it would be for us to determine the market value with their help for the next couple of years.
So it not only pays off for them eventually in a financial way or has that potential, but also pays off for them in an operational way and sort of helping them get closer to that open source community and figure out the technology quickly solve the technology problems they're working on now.
That is correct. So it does have the operational efficiency tactically, and given the business model, there will be a financial benefit. So I guess tactically an operational benefit, and strategically there would be a financial benefit in the long run.
That puts Lumina in a really good position in terms of where the company sits. For the next 12 months, what do you see Lumina, where do you see the company going, and how do you see it progressing?
So it definitely does put us, it validates Lumina's position as the automation platform in the open source community and to the providers. It puts us in a very hard position because we have to grow and we need talent globally to support the so-called carrier-grade networks. Mm-hmm. Getting a product out there is step one. Operating it 24/7 where the carriers are regulated by different entities and supporting the carriers. So we do see the growth happening, and we do see it puts us in a good position, but it also puts us in a position where we need good talent globally, not only just on the engineering side, but in thought leadership to continue defining or creating technical models such that the carriers can figure out the financial business models that they can depend on the automation platform that is open source.
Okay, well, we'll certainly keep a watch on Lumina, and thanks so much for taking the time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Phil. Nice talking to you.